Well, from my perspective, it's a question of who's the messenger, okay? So I think what we've tried to do at our community college system is turn our employers into the messenger, okay? Turn our four-year universities into the messenger. More and more, our four-year universities are taking on community college students as part of an integral strategy. In fact, we just signed a year ago a guaranteed admissions agreement with the University of Illinois system. Now, many states have these kinds of agreements. We didn't have this in place, right? And so you can go to the U of I, on a guaranteed basis by coming through us, and having the U of I promote that, having the U of I go out, having our employer partners talk about the value of a city college's credential and the value of an education. That gets back to families and students. And Dr. Janice Jackson's here, who's the CEO of Chicago Public Schools, having principals and teachers, right, promote the full plethora of options that are available to students. 4-year, 2-year. I think higher ed needs to create voices that are not ourselves in order to be effective. Helen?
Well, it's fascinating to me when people start questioning whether even a college degree is necessary anymore. One of my colleagues, Brian Kaplan, an economist, actually has written a very interesting, he's a professor, he's like lived in higher ed all of his life, and he's writing very interesting arguments about why we don't need universities. Kind of puzzling, but what's very interesting is most of the arguments about, oh, we don't need everybody to get a college degree, higher ed may be overrated, there are many other ways to be successful. They come from people with advanced degrees from the finest institutions in the country who would not hesitate to do whatever is in their hand to make sure their own children go to some of our finest institutions. So the whole time I'm thinking, okay, it is disingenuous, to be promoting that kind of argument. Even to the point of, I guess it's Peter Thiel, he has this scholarship that convincing some high school students not to go to college because it's a waste of your time, and instead I'm going to give you a grant so you can set up a business. I'm like, by the way, he himself has not one but 2 degrees from Stanford. And my colleague has a degree from, I think, Berkeley and Princeton. In institutions like George Mason, 40% of our students are the first generation in their families to go to college. Their dream is to get a college degree, and that's a very rational decision. They know that the ability to connect with the middle class, to get a good job, to provide for their family is absolutely dependent on going to college and getting a degree. So for me, and questions about cost are real. Questions about value are not even contested by anybody. There's nobody actually showing any kind of data showing that it is not necessary to get a college degree. To me, the key question, and what I work on every single day, is actually how to remove barriers so that more people can get a college degree, not fewer people. And by the way, the work that community colleges are doing is essential in solving that puzzle.
Can I just double down on this? This is really important because at the height of the Great Recessions, the unemployment rate for people with bachelor's degrees never went above 4%. Okay, and so to say, right, that a college degree doesn't matter is extremely disingenuous, especially to our students, because we're dealing, 15% of our students are homeless. 65% experience food insecurity. A college degree is about survival and the ability to just be able to have some thriving opportunities in their lives, right? And so it's not theoretical, right? This is a very real thing that's going to inform the quality of their life and their family's life and for generations to come. And so we can't afford for that narrative to start creeping into any part of society, much less the parts of society, the lowest income communities in society. That just cannot happen.